Hello and welcome to that superhero hub. I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and today we're reviewing,
Doctor Who.
the series finale. This episode being called "The Doctor Fools." So yeah, I'll get into it with my initial thoughts. I mean, really, it was all about the last 20 minutes, but this was an hour-long one, so I think they tacked on another 20 minutes onto it. There were some bits that, the start bit, it was a bit goofy at the start, really, where it kind of had that weird, like, camera all over the place thing, and it was doing, like, little flashes and stuff like that of, like, what happened directly after with the Doctor getting slapped about a bit, and then he falls on the computer, and then I was thinking that's going to be like a big thing, right? I was thinking that's definitely going to come into place somewhere later on in the episode. Somewhat later on in the episode, being 5 minutes later.
Mm-hmm. That would be my thing. I did enjoy this episode, but I've got to say, look, it did kind of do away with most of the Cyberman stuff. Like, the Cybermen really, aside from Bill being one of them, it could have been anything. Because, like, that weird doctor guy disappeared, the nurse disappeared, everything about the Cybermen, what was there, but, like, they all kind of went away. It just became about the Doctor and the Master / Missy, which I'm fine with, but it's like the whole setup of the last episode was kind of pointless.
Well, I think what they were kind of trying to get at is that literally somehow Bill was kind of the first ever Cyberman ever created ever anywhere, and then kind of, I guess, from this ship or whatever, where whatever kind of remnants of it were, that the Cybermen went off from there and then kind of grew from there, and they kind of split off from their kind of different paths. So yeah, it's kind of tied up in the chair, and they're dancing and stuff like that, and they're having a conversation, and then the Cybermen are all, the Mondasian Cybermen are all advancing, and then all of a sudden they turn their attention to them, and then is like, oh, what's going on? And it's like, oh yeah, when you were slapping me about, this was very, like, it reminded me of Sherlock, because that's the kind of thing that happened in Sherlock. Oh, when you happened to slap me about and I fell on the computer, what everyone else saw was me fall on the computer for a second, but really I fell on the computer and was tapping away like a maniac for 30 seconds and then fell on the floor. So yeah, he changed the kind of operating system thing to detect that humans had two hearts, so they became a target, but it took them a while for the update to kick in, so however long that was. So now they're all kind of in the same boat, and they're trying to get away from the Cybermen, so they dip off to the solar farm too. I think it was the place that the Master mentioned, like, earlier, where he goes, oh yeah, people went up to it and then were never seen again. So it's like, it's a solar farm apparently, but really, like, when he said solar farm, in my head I was just thinking, oh, there's going to be a bunch of, like, solar panels and stuff like that linked to stuff, you know what I mean? But for some reason it was like a little, like, farmyard house with no kind of solar stuff at all. So I don't know why they called it a solar farm. So yeah, and it had a bunch of people there, so really they were stuck in that place while the Cybermen were, like, advancing themselves down below, with the whole time thing still, like, relevant, because they're like, what, about, there must have been about 4.5.
It was a long time.
There were like 4,500. How many floors were there? I'm trying to think if they were, what floor were they on, like down below, like 5,000. There were a number of floors ahead, so like the time thing's still like whatever. So while they were up there kind of for 2 weeks and stuff like that, they kind of advance, as it were, the Cyberman from the Mondasian ones to like the kind of normal ones, like from the Nightmare in Silver, those ones, and they're making their way up or whatever. And then like Bill, you kind of had the thing where they're I was kind of expecting that to be a little more emotional and stuff like that. The only thing that kind of did get me is when the Master took the piss out of her and stuff like that, where he was doing the accent and stuff like that to her, and then he mugged her off, and then it was like not bothered, but really it flashes to her and she's like real sad and stuff like that.
The Master was a lot of fun. I liked in the episode the subtle digs the Doctor would occasionally make about the Master kind of sucking, about how he always screws up. Like that's why he got stuck there in the first place. And the interaction between Missy and the Master was great. Before just as they broke out to the farm, probably the funniest moment in the episode was when they both made the same comment to Nardole about the Doctor being dead and hating him, so he should leave. And then Missy came up and said the same thing.
Yeah. No, I thought Nardole shone in this episode.
Well, that's because he was in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the thing is with Nardole in the season is he just pops in every now and then and pops out again when they didn't need him. I suppose maybe Matt Lucas is busy, or maybe they didn't know how much they could use him. I don't know, but
I don't think so.
He worked when he was in it. And he was fun, yeah. Just set him up. I mean, this is a goodbye for him. I don't think we'll be able to see him again, but he served his purpose this season.
Yeah. What I thought was funny, where like initially, like the Doctor was talking to Cyber Bill, and then she gets angry and like blasts a hole in the thing, and is like, look, nothing to see here. You know what I mean? Someone's damaged the barn. Get back to work and stuff like that. That was, I don't think that was the exact quote, but that was like a funny thing. So yeah. So then the Cybermen were like kamikazing the floors and stuff like that, and they were planning a defence. And then I guess the Master's like, whatever the Doctor does, really, it falls on deaf ears. So I mean, he's going back to his TARDIS, and then there's the whole thing with the dematerialization circuit, which got damaged, and then somehow through subliminal messaging and stuff like that, he happens to have one because of that moment where she kind of gets angry at him, and it's like, I don't get how that kind of worked.
Neither do I, but I don't. It's a plot device, I suppose, you're going to go with, but if she knew that, then why wouldn't she know what was going to come later? I don't know, but that was fine. I did like when the Doctor made his big speech, and while you could see he got through to Missy, the Master's completely blanked him and walked on.
Yeah, this is the face of the person who literally didn't listen to a word you just said.
Oh, that's great.
And then he plots off. Yeah, I thought the whole under, like, toned down sinister thing, I like that more. That got the point across rather than the kind of flamboyant showman thing he did when he was.
Yeah, because he did the laugh a couple of times.
Yeah.
And it worked, but it wasn't overdone. I mean, how many times did we cut to him laughing in The End of Time? That's horrendous. This is much better. Definitely understated. The beard was cool.
Yeah.
I think it's the last time we see him. It's a better way to go out than The End of Time, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So you had the whole thing, that really the kind of siege of the Cybermen and stuff like that. You you saw like a little flash earlier where he was kind of walking through like the forest, and then his hands started to glow, and then he kind of leant on the thing and was like, knock it off, you know what I mean? So you could tell he was on his way out already from, I guess, when they slapped him up or whatever. They must have
I,
slapped.
I think in that, I may be wrong, but I think in that, right as just after them, just before the Master and the Missy made the same comment to Nardole, he got grabbed by the Cyberman and like electrocuted or something, and then Bill
Oh,
showed up.
okay, okay.
I assume that's probably it.
Yeah, that makes more sense than him getting slapped up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you had the whole fight with the Cybermen and stuff like that, and they make a plan to evacuate. And then I guess the Master and Missy, they kind of make their thing and go off. I thought, well, yeah, we'll kind of get to that, the kind of end of the Master thing. I don't think that really his next regeneration is Missy. That's what I was led to believe. You know what I mean? I don't think he got it, because I think they would have shown it.
Okay, so you think Missy will turn, or the Master?
Will turn
That's
it.
it. Yeah, that's interesting because they didn't show the Master regenerate, and obviously they didn't show Missy either. So
Yeah. Well, she's properly
he's,
properly dead because
yeah,
he lasered her. Well, they have this thing where they
but oh yeah, go on.
No, you do yours.
Well, they hug, and what did she do? That's what I was going to ask.
She jukes him with a blade. She's got like a
Uh,
concealed blade. She
like
jukes him.
Assassin's Creed kind of style.
Yeah, kind of like that. So it's like, oh, I'm kind of pleased with that. And then he blasts her in the back with the laser screwdriver and is like, don't bother trying to regenerate because I gave you the full blast.
That
So
was cool. I like the whole thing where he called out that he's basically killed himself, and that's where it was going. I like that. I do. I know some people are probably going to be bothered. They would have wanted Missy to go and help the Doctor. I don't. I prefer the idea. Even I prefer the idea that it's still tragic, even when the Master wants to help the Doctor, he never will. He's his main villain. I don't want the Joker teaming up with Batman. I don't want Missy, the Master, whoever it is, teaming up with the Doctor. So the fact that she stopped himself was cool.
yeah. So because literally I was sitting there and I was waiting for the regeneration, and all you see is him go down the elevator shaft. So that's what I've thought in my head. Like there's discrepancies. They never really confirmed that he goes into her. They talked about it, and then it was like, oh, my memory's a bit fuzzy. So in my head, I'm thinking there's probably something in between there.
If you don't see it, also, if you don't see regeneration, then who knows? Maybe the Master Johnson found another way to stop it. You know, even at the what was it, the 50th anniversary, we saw kind of John Hurt quasi turn into Christopher Eccleston. He weren't in the episode, so if you've got both of them there, why wouldn't you do the regeneration?
Yeah.
As far as Missy being dead, whatever. Like, I mean, come on, we've seen the Master die already. We saw Johnson's Master die. He came back.
Yeah.
So they'll bring Missy the Master back when whoever it is, when they feel like it. Maybe it might be next year, it might be 5 years from now, but they'll bring the Master back eventually.
They'll have to. It'll probably be better to work that angle, like in between Missy, because she got blasted and like kind of carked out, and then not long after the whole floor blew up. So you got to think, yeah, she was kind of dead. So then we get to the cool bit where the Doctor's like running around with his sonic blasting on the Cybermen. See a couple Cybermen lick off trees and stuff like that. I thought that was cool. And then it was mentioning all the times that he beat the Cybermen in the past and stuff like that. Canary Wharf, Planet X or whatever, or something like that. He also did a thing with jelly babies early on in the barn as well.
Mm-hmm.
That I thought I'd bring up in case anyone thought I missed that. We missed that. So yeah, that was cool. And then he kind of gets blasted by the first and second beams were good, but the third one, the CGI didn't look too good. On the third blast, it just looked a little. The angles looked off or whatever, but that's when really it started getting real sick, like real good, because he gets blasted with that and is like, "Hello, I'm the doctor," and then the Cyberman's like, "There's no need for a doctor," and then it's like, "Oh, not a doctor, the doctor, I'm the original," and then he gets blasted, and then his hand starts going, and then he's like, "I'm not having that," room, and then he blows up the floor, and then you have like Cyber Bill kind of go over and stuff like that, and she's like crying over him. Then this is the funny bit for me, because I mean you had him focus on his eye when it was all blowing up and stuff like that, and then in the split second, like they kind of they show like the eye and they zoom out and it's obviously got the star in it, and I was sitting there thinking, oh, that's a nice eye, whose eye is that? Because I was thinking that ain't like the doctor's, and it's like it's not Bill's, and I was thinking, whose eye is that? That person's got a real nice eye. And then it turned out to be Water Girl from the first episode, that I thought was sick.
I'm not with you.
Oh no, she's got a real cute face.
I don't care about the character specifically. I just mean I didn't like this.
I thought it was pretty cool, because it wrapped up her thing. She gets to go off with her girl. It kind of made Bill kind of cool, because I guess I don't really get the function of the pilot or whatever, but I guess it split her from the Cyberman. I thought that was kind of cool. And then she turns around and looks at it, and it's just like, poof.
I'll tell you what would have wrapped it up. Kill her. Have the balls to actually kill him. A second time.
Well,
now she's out there travelling. She's probably going to run into Clara at some point. It's the same damn thing.
Don't get too angry about it. I thought
I'm not angry. I'm not going to let this one thing ruin the entire episode. I just don't like the fact that.
So you're throwing out buzzwords like ruin now. So I think you're a little upset.
I said I didn't. I would. I'm not going to let it ruin. I won't. But I don't like it. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's great, and I don't think it was. I don't think it was good. I thought for a while, my mind actually went to, are they going to set up Bill as like advancing and being, remember Handles?
Yeah.
That's fifth side, man. I thought that would have been cool, but they didn't go there. They've done what they wanted to do. I suppose now they can bring Bill back or never do it. Whatever. I didn't particularly like it, but it's not going to ruin the whole show for me.
See, I thought I liked it. I thought it was surprising and stuff like that. I was like, oh, the Water Girl, so she splits her from the Cyberman and then gets them to the TARDIS, and she's like, oh, I can make you human again, I can just whiz around and stuff like that. See, if I was Bill, I'd be asking for stuff then, you know what I mean? I'd be like, let's see, what yeah. Give me powers and stuff like that. I'd like to shoot fire from my hands. Can you do that? So yeah, and then she kind of cries on him and leaves a tear and stuff like that, and then they go off to wherever they're going. Then he kind of wakes up and he does the whole Sontaran thing, and then he does the last lines of David Tennant and Matt Smith, and then he's going on about how we don't want to change, and then they do a flash of like all the things, and the kind of big thing was, and I know this was going on Twitter as well, is that Clara popped up as well, which means that although he erased his mind of Clara in like that finale, he's got that memory back now, so he remembers Clara. I know a lot of the fans were like super gassed about that, like, oh, he remembers Clara.
I forgot that he forgot her.
I didn't, because I'm a true fan. So yeah, that was cool news, going on about how he don't want to change again. So
why is this Doctor so determined not to change? Like David Tennant's, I got it. He was super kind of hyped on himself. But why is this Doctor?
I know. I think he's been a little immature and like kind of putting his foot down. Mate,
I do. I just think it's kind of come out of nowhere. Like he's so attached to this version of himself. I just like I say, with the David Tennant one, they kind of built up into point, up and up to the point that he got to the waters of Mars and he went kind of megalomaniac. So I get why he was attached to himself, but this Doctor, I just don't see why he's so determined not to change.
Maybe it hurts him bad. Maybe it hurts him emotionally, and maybe it's just like, you wanna know what? I don't want to go through that again. Maybe it's just putting his foot down. Is really, this is kind of, I don't know. So yeah, I thought it was cool, the kind of regeneration thing, and then like vroom, and then no, and then he goes outside into the snow, and then he looks to do it again, and then again is like punches the snow and then knocks that off, and then obviously David Bradley is ambling about out there, and then he's basically the first Doctor. So yeah, I guess that kind of wraps it up. In terms of the Christmas special, I guess it'll be old self kind of talking to him. It's interesting whether that'll be the kind of, I'm interested whether it's because it's his 13th regeneration, and really if you split it up into cycles, it's his first like set of regenerations, and maybe it's just like, maybe that's where the kind of infantile thing is coming from, where he doesn't want to change. Maybe in that sense he's not used to changing yet, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and maybe the first Doctor will just help him along
Yeah.
for the idea of why would you want to carry on.
Maybe it's kind of like, look, I was kind of the first of mine as well, if you know what I mean, in the line of 12 regenerations, and it's like, you just gotta go do it, yo.
I wonder. I wonder at what point in the first Doctor's timeline this is. Like, where is he and when is he?
I don't know. Maybe they'll like, I guess they'll bring it up in opening conversations. I wonder what effect it's gonna have, because when David Tennant kind of held his back for a while, he kind of ripped the TARDIS apart in a sense. So I mean, you got to figure that already he's denied himself like 3 times of regenerating. You got to think that's going to build up one hell of an explosion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I want to know the 13th one's going to be. I wasn't expecting the 13th one to pop up or anything like that in the finale, because that wouldn't make sense, because we know we ain't regenerating until the Christmas special. But I kind of I want to know who he is now. Who he's going to be.
You say he, might be she.
Come on, knock it off. It's not going to be that.
Could be.
It's just no point.
Of course, that's the point. A Christmas special is what, months away, and it's still, how many months is that? I mean, what, 7? And
5.
I think look. They can't keep a secret. We already knew John Sim was coming back. We already knew David Bradley was coming back. So, in a few months' time, the news is going to break. If I remember rightly, they even announced Capaldi on like a TV show.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. I wonder if they'll do it at Comic-Con.
No.
But I guess they can't.
Why would they do it at Comic-Con?
I don't know.
I mean, no offense to the Americans, but I don't think they're going to toss out like the new Doctor at San Diego. It makes no sense. They're going to do some big BBC show if they're going to announce it, isn't they?
I guess so. I know, I'm just really excited. So, yeah, let's talk numbers.
I'll give it an 8.5. I thought it was good. I like the Master.
I'll give it a solid 9, because that's how I do. I like bits of it. There were bits of, I mean, the start was a bit slow and stuff like that, but it wasn't overly emotional for me. But I guess they're saving that for the Christmas special, for any regenerates. But there was a lot of cool things going on. I thought I really liked the water girl thing, and then the whole kind of last 5 minutes homage from him waking up, the denial of the regenerations, and then going out and then bumping into number 1. I thought that was cool.
I thought it was a strong end to a pretty crappy season. Hopefully, I wonder where they are going to go with like plot-wise in the Christmas special, though. Like, who are they fighting?
I don't know, because I mean, the first Doctor himself said that he didn't want to change, along the same lines as 13 was saying he didn't want to change. So I mean,
did he? Just from what I remember of the regeneration, I remember seeing the episode, or at least like the restored footage. He didn't seem too bothered about it.
Yeah. Well, maybe this is why. Because I'm trying to think, he had people around him, didn't he? So I'm thinking, when did he have the chance to sneak off? You know what I mean?
But like I say, like where we don't know when this is. Like, has Doctor Who even started yet? Is he? I mean, he must be. He's not on Gallifrey, is he? So, is he? Gallifrey don't have snow, does it?
I don't think so. Well, maybe, but I wouldn't think he was on. Who knows? Maybe they're literally on Gallifrey, and he's just about to leave.
Maybe, because the doctor did say. I guess he was talking to the TARDIS. He did say like, "Why did you bring me here?" So presumably he knows where he is.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think because I swear I saw a leaked set photo and it had both of the TARDISes together and they were in a field. So that's my insight.
Well, then if it's got a TARDIS, the show must have started and he's run off somewhere.
Yeah.
So is Susan there? Is she already left? Because they brought David Bradley back, and they bring back the girl that plays Susan in the thing. Adventure in Space and Time, whatever it's called.
I guess I could.
Oh well, we'll see in many, many months from now.
Yeah. So, I'm Sam.
I'm Matt.
And we'll see you at Christmas.